Do you support free or reduced college for illegal aliens?
Again, I support the investments of all residents of the people of Chicago.
Take that as a yes.
Greetings, my politi-brawling family. I'm Richie McGinnis, and today we have a clip from the House Oversight Committee hearing on sanctuary cities. You are not going to believe the ridiculousness of this exchange between Rep. Brandon Gil from Texas and the Chicago Mayor Johnson. I'm just warning you guys right now, disclaimer, this clip may cause infuriation. Let's watch.
Mayor Johnson, I want to start with you. One of your first actions as mayor was establishing a deputy mayor for immigrant, migrant, and refugee rights. I want to ask you a series of questions. If you could answer with a yes or no answer, that'd be great. First of all, do you support allowing illegal aliens to obtain driver's licenses? Just yes or no.
So the city of Chicago has been a welcoming city for over 40 years.
I'll take that as a yes. Next question.
And that's the policy that we will hold to.
Do you support tax dollars subsidizing or paying for the health care of illegal aliens?
I support investments in all residents of the people of Chicago, and that's what I do.
That's a yes as well. Do you support free or reduced college for illegal aliens?
Again, I support the investments of all residents of the people of Chicago.
Take that as a yes. Next question. Do you support allowing non-citizens to vote in local elections?
Again, I'm not over the jurisdiction of that type of law, but again, I'm committed to investing in all residents of the people of Chicago.
I'll take that as a yes. I've got an article from the Chicago Sun-Times, and I'll quote here briefly. Johnson proposed, among other things, that all residents, regardless of citizenship status, be able to vote for Chicago Board of Education members. Next question. Your website states, and this is your campaign website, quote, "I will not stop fighting until abortion access is completely secure for people all over the country," end quote. Yes or no, do you support taxpayer-funded abortions for illegal aliens?
I support the reproductive rights of all people, all women.
That is a yes as well. Your mayoral transition website mentions support for creating a Chicago Board of Education non-citizen advisory board. Again, yes or no, do you support appointing non-citizens to government advisory boards?
I was invited here today to discuss welcoming cities.
Yes or no?
I was invited here to discuss welcoming cities.
This is a yes or no
If you're
question.
interested in asking me questions.
Just for the record, he was invited there to talk about sanctuary cities, not welcoming cities. There's a difference.
It's about the welcoming
I'll
city.
take that as a
I'm
yes.
happy to
We're gonna
answer
move
those
on.
questions.
No, we're going to move on. As you know, President Trump, unlike the previous administration, has taken serious action to bring foreign criminal gangs to justice, to take our border back and to restore public safety in our communities. He designated 8 transnational criminal organizations and cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. These are groups like Tren de Aragua, MS-13, Sinaloa, other of some of the most grotesque and ruthless and brutal organizations in the world. You, as mayor of a sanctuary city, have been virtually giving favors to illegal aliens. Apparently, you support an enormous amount of taxpayer resources going to them as well. But you yourself have also received a lot of gifts. And for those of you who don't know, Mayor Johnson has a secret gift room that is not given access to the public or for access to the Office of Inspector General. I'd like to ask you a couple questions about that. Do you know everyone who's given you a gift since you became mayor?
The city of Chicago has had a policy for 40 years
a yes or no question.
where there are individuals that would like to give gifts to
I'm
the city of
reclaiming my time.
Chicago,
I'm going to take that as
and
a
we
no.
do not accept those
When
gifts.
did you
We
become
receive
mayor?
them on
No, I'm
behalf
going to reclaim my
of
time
the city
here.
of Chicago.
You're not going to filibuster here. When did you become mayor?
I was elected mayor of the city of Chicago in April of 2023, and I was sworn in May
That's good.
15th
On June
of
12th
2023.
On June 12th, 2023, you received Hugo Boss cufflinks and a personalized Mont Blanc pin. Do you know who gave you those?
So I did not receive those personally. The city of Chicago
You received those
them,
on behalf
and
of the
that's
city of
right, on behalf of the
Chicago.
city.
Wait a second. A personalized Mont Blanc pen that he received on behalf of the people of Chicago, but it's personalized to him. All right.
Chicago, as
I
every
understand the
mayor
difference.
in the
Do you know
history
who-
of Chicago who has
Do you know who gave
provided
those
gifts
to the city of Chicago? Do you know who gave those to the city of Chicago?
So again, on behalf of the city of Chicago, there are
It's a yes
gifts
or no
that are
question.
received,
Do
but I
you?
do not
Do you-
accept. Those are not
So you
my
don't-
personal
so you
gifts.
don't know.
Those are the gifts of the city of
On March
Chicago,
18th,
and that's why you are aware
2024
that they exist because they're
reclaim
within the
my
law.
time here, sir. On March 18th, 2024, you received a Gucci tote bag. Do you know who gave you that? Gave the city of Chicago that?
Ken, I was here and I was invited
I'll also
to
take that as a
respond
no.
to the
On March
questions
19th,
around
2024,
welcoming
the
city, and I'm
city of
happy to answer
Chicago
any of those
received
questions.
A Givenchy bag, a Kate Spade purse, and Carucci shoes. Do you know who gave the city of Chicago those?
Again, I was brought.
I'll
I
take
brought
that as
my
a no.
energy
I'm
here
reclaiming my time
to respond
here, sir. I am
on behalf of the
reclaiming
city
my
of Chicago
time.
of
This
what a welcoming
raises
city
serious
ordinance
ethical
is.
concerns. You are providing an enormous amount of aid to illegal aliens, aiding and abetting criminals who have come into our country illegally. And you yourself are receiving an enormous amount of gifts, and you won't even tell us who they're coming
Mr.
from. That
Chairman,
raises
time is up.
serious ethical
We have a
concerns.
5-minute rule.
All right. So let's just get this straight. The Gucci bag, Karachi, I've never even heard of that. Karachi shoes, and a personalized Mont Blanc pen. The Mont Blanc is $600. A personalized one's going to be even more expensive. All of those were gifts for the people of Chicago. And meanwhile, let's contrast that with the fact that the city of Chicago is paying to house migrants, provide them with health care, apparently provide them with free abortions, and also college programs, and allowing them to vote. And you might wonder why it is that Mayor Johnson has a 14% approval rating right now. Well, there it is right there. Clearly, he's looking out for his virtue and how he looks publicly as this virtuous guy who's welcoming in his welcoming city. And he has no concern for the actual, imagine living on the south side of Chicago in a slum, and immigrants are being put up in hotels on taxpayer dollars. Let's take that a step further and try to piece together maybe how it is that Donald Trump won more black votes in 2024 than any Republican president in 48 years. Well, there's your answer right there, because inner cities are absolutely decimated from the economic downturns that took place over the last 4 years, the price of things like groceries and gas. And let's add to all that the fact that millions and millions of people were flooding over the border. I went down to Guatemala in 2023, and if you guys remember, Kamala Harris was supposed to do this thing called address the root causes. Well, guess what? I encountered multiple gang members from Colombia and Venezuela, the gang members that he's talking about there. And let's just say they're not good dudes, and I ran out of the jail cell. We'll leave it at that. But those people, among many millions of others, were coming over the border and actually being flown on taxpayer dollars to the interior of the country. So what just happened right there is exactly what's wrong with the Democrat policies in these sanctuary cities. And now that Donald Trump is trying to impose federal law, actually impose it for once, they're still resisting. Well, guess what? The next election is coming up soon. The voters are going to vote accordingly. And something tells me that the Democrat Party is in big, big trouble unless they do an about-face and start addressing the everyday concerns of their citizens rather than trying to support the entire world. I mean, because where do you draw the line? If you're a welcoming city and you're quote-unquote welcoming city and you're welcoming what? What's the limit? How many people can you support? 50,000, 60,000, 100,000? The entire country of Guatemala, the entire country of Colombia? Well, the answer is it doesn't make sense in reality. So that's the problem the Democrats are running into now, is that their policies might sound good on paper, might not make people feel all virtuous and nice and moral to vote Democrat in their elections, but guess what? After you suffer for long enough, people are going to start to change their minds and realize maybe it's not the best approach to vote Democrat in these cities. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of years. I appreciate you Politabrawlers tuning in. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments.